Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you are well. Well, today was an outstanding day. And if your friends or colleagues have told you that the AI chip rally was done or that Micron was finished with its bull run, today Micron proved them all wrong. Just like we talked about last night, we needed to see Micron's leadership team come out this morning at the Wolfe Research conference and deliver strong comments so they can reinstill confidence in the investment community. They can wipe away any of those fears and anxieties that were happening with some of the news that was circling the company. And that's exactly what we saw this morning. So their CFO, Mark Murphy, came out and provided strong commentary that not only boosted the stock exploded today in the market. It was up over 10% and it closed at over $410 a share. It was an outstanding day for Micron. It's exactly what we needed to see. So in today's video, we're going to break down the comments that their CFO said. I'm actually going to bring a sampling of that audio directly to you so you can hear the comments that rallied the Micron today in the market. We're going to look at the performance of the stock, not only what it did today, but also how is it performing in the after hours. And then we'll talk broadly about the memory and storage companies and how they performed overall throughout the course of the day. But before we get started in those topics, hit a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I appreciate you spending time on the channel and listening to the content. So thanks for joining, and let's get started. So as I mentioned today, the indexes if I didn't mention, the indexes were down. All three were slightly down, but we did see the Dow continue to stay over the 50,000 mark for the third day in a row. That's a great sign for us. We need to keep it there. We need to keep driving forward, but we haven't had a chance to see that S&P break through that 7,000 ceiling yet. I think it's going to be able to do it this week. Let me know your comments. I'm pretty optimistic that we can break through by the end of the week, but drop a comment below. Let me know what you think. We'll be able to do it, or will we continue to chase that ceiling in the weeks to come? The NASDAQ was down the worst of the three, but despite it being red, Micron was the star of the show today in the semiconductor space. And the reason why, in my opinion, is that the comments today, we finally got the confirmation that we needed to prove that the memory super cycle is not a myth. It's real. It's a tidal wave of demand. And that's exactly what Mark Murphy laid out in his comments today. As I mentioned, it had performance. It grew 10% on the day, closed $410 a share. There were other strong performers today in the semiconductor space as well. The equipment suppliers had a great day. If you're looking at Lam Research, AMSL, KLA, they were all up well today. Strong performance across the board. We also saw really strong performance from Vertiv Holdings, 25% growth on the day, almost a $50 gain across the board. NVIDIA was up slightly. Tesla had a nice day, but the rest of the Mag 7 were down. But the memory companies took off today. Micron, fabulous day. SanDisk, unbelievable day. Almost a $60 gain on the stock today. Western was up today, almost 5%. And Seagate was up just about 3% today. So strong day across the memory companies. But let's listen exactly to what the comments were this morning that rallied the market and drove Micron throughout the day. So let's jump over to that, guys. I'm going to play this audio for you, and then we'll jump back and discuss it.
And let me at this time address some recent inaccurate reporting by some on our HBM4 position. We have been in high volume production on HBM4. We've commenced customer shipments of HBM4. And we see shipment volumes ramping successfully this calendar Q1. This is a quarter earlier than we mentioned during our December earnings call. Our HBM capacity is ramping well. And we have sold out our calendar year 26 HBM supply, as we highlighted a few months ago. Our HBM yield is on track. Our HBM4 yield is on track. Our HBM4 product delivers over 11 gigabits per second speeds. And we're highly confident in our HBM4 product performance and quality and reliability.
Those were the comments, exact comments we needed to hear from Micron. So just to reiterate what they said, because I wrote them down as we get through, high volume production has commenced. High volume production is underway, sorry. Customer shipments have commenced for HBM4. The shipping volumes are ramping up this quarter, a full quarter ahead of where their earnings mentioned in December last year. And as they also mentioned, their HBM supply is sold out. They confirmed that. And their HBM4 yield is on track, and it's delivering the speed that is required, over 11 gigabytes per second speed. So these were outstanding comments that their CFO delivered. I encourage you to jump on the investor relations site and listen to the full 20, 30 minutes presentation that he gave, because he talks about the demand that we're seeing in the memory and storage sector, and then how that demand is moving to the edge as well, and what they anticipate they'll be able to do. Also talks a lot about the new fabs that they're opening up. So the expansions they've done out in Idaho, what they're doing in New York, and how they're breaking ground, and what they anticipate the Singapore and Taiwan acquisitions will be able to help them deliver for DRAM and NAND moving forward. So really outstanding comments from the CFO. It boosted the stock. So let's take a look at what the stock did today. Exactly how did it help overall? You can see on your screen right here. This is just right over here, looking at February 11th. You can see right out of the gate. I mean, we hit highs up almost, at some point during the day, we're up close to 414, but out of the gate high and continue to rally throughout the day. Closed at $410 a share, as I mentioned, $37 growth on the day, 10% up. Outstanding to see. And let's take a look right to the right of that, what we're seeing in the after hours, picking up almost another $3 a share, almost 3/4 of a share point there. So we're pushing 413 right now. Really strong performance for Micron today. It's what we needed to see. It was what we were expecting to see. And I'm sure it instilled a lot of confidence back in all of us as investors. And the other thing I want to just jump over to is just take a look at some of the new analyst ratings that came out. So I mentioned the Deutsche Bank yesterday pushing their new rating to 500 a share. Today, Morgan Stanley increased their price target from 350 to 450, and we even saw at some point TD Cowen went up to 600 price target for Micron. They're the bullish of the bulls right now for sure across the board. But what did we hear? And I guess I would say the breakdown. I would say, what I took away and what I love to hear from their CFO this morning is we got rid of the rumor killer that we saw swirling around this company about how Samsung was going to own them, that Micron couldn't meet the requirements for NVIDIA. And he put that to rest, essentially today, reassuring that their production is ahead of schedule, that it's meeting the speed requirements that they're anticipating, and there's early shipments, a full month ahead of time. So this directly countered the recent rumors that we have heard from rivals in Samsung, and it's continuing to put Micron ahead in the race and putting them right at the center of all of the needs that the hyperscalers as well as NVIDIA need for their chips. This was a huge deal across the board for Micron. It was great to see it. We also saw that massive re-rating that I just mentioned. Morgan Stanley, Deutsche Bank, TD Cowen that I mentioned went up to 600 a share. And then finally was the confirmation again from their CFO, from Mark this morning, that they are sold out. Entire 2026 is sold out, that they're in agreements right now for multi-year agreement beyond 2026 with a number of customers, which was great to hear. And we know that because of the being sold out, they have pricing power. We anticipate that the DRAM prices, some are estimating it's already gone. Reports suggest that we've already seen a 90% increase since December of last year. And analysts are recommending or anticipating another 50 to 90% increase in this quarter alone and throughout the year. So I mentioned earlier how the new fabs and the acquisition in Singapore are going to help them meet them. You have to remember that the fabrication in New York is for DRAM. The acquisition in Taiwan was to help them with DRAM. What they picked up in Singapore is for their NAND storage. So they're diversifying and picking up new acquisitions and new fabrication sites to help them meet the demand into the market overall. So it was great to see that as well. And I think when you look at what we're expecting, so our next big date for Micron is March 19th, their earnings rate. I'm expecting a massive earnings showing for the company. Analysts are projecting revenue growth for Micron to be 100% in 2026 versus 2025. That would be phenomenal. I think this first quarter, the next earnings on March 19th is going to show massive revenue, and it's going to show the massive demand that's out there for this company. We also know that their margins are outstanding. So their gross margins or their profit margins are some of the best in the business. And they expect right now for Micron's gross margins to be forecast to stay in the 60 to 70% range, a level that's typically not seen in memory, is typically seen in other sectors like software and other areas of the tech world, but 60 to 70% gross margin is outstanding for this company. So bottom line for me today, guys, is that today's 10% move overall for Micron is a new chapter for the company. The sold out status for 2026, what we've talked about, and the early HBM shipping is puts the bulls in firmly control of this stock for now. So let's hope we don't see any more nervous hands with the stock. I do expect we'll probably see some profit taking, and some selling tomorrow morning, but the fundamentals are strong. Nothing has changed. I anticipate this stock to continue to perform. And then when we get to that March 19th date, when revenues are shared that are through the roof, I think this stock will get pushed again closer to that target that we put out there, which is the target the analysts have put out there, which is 500 a share. But I want to hear from you. Do you think it's realistic? Do you think that Micron will push through 450 and climb towards 500 as I'm suggesting? Or do you think this memory cycle are you bearish on the memory cycle and think that it's a little too volatile? So let me know, drop a comment below. Let me know your thoughts. But overall today, strong day for Micron. It's what we needed to see. It's what we wanted to see. And they delivered on this morning's conference. Great to see. Take care, guys. See you soon.